was a bright Saturday afternoon in Springfield, a quiet suburban town where life usually moved at a slow, predictable pace. Fam strolled through the local park. Kids played on the swings and neighbors exchanged polite greetings. But that peace was about to be shattered by a single phone call. One that would lead to a shocking revelation and a moment of instant karma. 17-year-old Malcolm Carter had only one thing on his mind that day: getting his little sister a birthday gift. He had saved up for weeks from his part-time job and had finally found the perfect present: a beautiful charm bracelet from Golden Grace Jewelers, an upscale jewelry store downtown. Where are you watching this today? Let us know in the comments below. Excited? He walked through the glass doors and into the brightly lit showroom, scanning the display cases with a hopeful smile. But the moment he stepped inside, he felt something was off. Standing behind the counter was Susan Miller, a middle-aged sales associate with sharp eyes and a permanent frown. The second she saw Malcolm, her expression changed. Her lips pressed into a thin line, and her eyes narrowed. She watched him closely as he browsed, gripping her phone like it was a lifeline. Malcolm noticed her tense posture, but tried to ignore it. He had seen this look before. After a few minutes, he approached the counter, pointing at the bracelet. "Hi, I'd like to see that one, please." Susan didn't move. Instead, she crossed her arms. "Are you sure?" she asked, her tone laced with suspicion. "It's very expensive." Malcolm felt his stomach tighten. He knew exactly what she was implying. "Yes, I'm sure," he said calmly, pulling out his wallet. "I have the money right here." Susan's eyes flickered to the cash inside, but instead of relaxing, she stiffened even more. She glanced toward the store security camera, then back at Malcolm. "You know what?" she said, stepping back. "I think I should call the owner first. You wait right here." Before Malcolm could protest, she reached for her phone. Not to call the owner, but to dial 911. "This is Susan Miller from Golden Grace Jewelers," she said into the phone, her voice dripping with fake concern. "There's a suspicious individual in my store, young, black, and acting very nervous. I think he might be trying to steal something." Malcolm's breath caught in his throat. Did she really just call the cops on him? He couldn't believe it. He had done nothing wrong, nothing but walk into a store and try to buy a gift for his sister, yet here he was being treated like a criminal. "Ma'am, I haven't done anything," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. Susan gave him a smug, condescending look. "Then you have nothing to worry about," she said. "The police will sort it out." Malcolm clenched his fists, his heart pounding as the sound of approaching sirens filled the air. Within minutes, 2 police officers burst through the doors. "There he is," Susan said, pointing at Malcolm like he was a wanted fugitive. "I caught him trying to rob the store." One of the officers, Sergeant Daniels, immediately reached for his handcuffs. "Son, I'm going to need you to step outside." But before he could finish his sentence, Malcolm took a deep breath and uttered 5 words that changed everything. "Call my mom right now." Susan rolled her eyes. "Oh, sure. I'm sure she'll be so helpful," she said. "Sar Tickley, who is she? A public defender?" Malcolm didn't respond. He simply pulled out his phone and made the call himself. "Mom, I need you at Golden Grace. Now." 5 minutes passed, then 10. The officers were growing impatient, and Susan looked increasingly smug. But then the store door swung open, and in walked Special Agent Regina Carter, chief of the FBI's criminal division. A tall, commanding black woman in a sharp navy suit. Her very presence demanded attention. She carried herself with the authority of someone who had spent years in law enforcement. Because she had the moment the officers saw her, their faces went pale. Susan, on the other hand, was still oblivious. "Ma'am, thank goodness you're here," she said, assuming Regina was just another police officer. "I caught this young man." But before she could finish, Regina held up a badge, the kind that outranked everyone in the room. "I'm Special Agent Regina Carter, Chief of the FBA Criminal Division, and I'm also this young man's mother." The entire store fell silent. Sergeant Daniels gulped audibly. The second officer took a nervous step back. Susan, she looked like she had just seen a ghost for the first time. Susan was speechless. She opened her mouth, then closed it again, her face turning red with embarrassment. Regina turned her sharp gaze on the officers. First, you were about to arrest my son. Did you even ask for his side of the story? Did you look at the security footage, or did you just take her word for it? Sergeant Daniel stammered. We were just following protocol. Protocol? Regina's voice was calm but dangerously cold. Protocol means investigating before making assumptions. But you didn't do that, did you? Neither officer said a word. Then Regina turned to Susan. And you, she said, her eyes piercing. You accused my son of stealing because he looked suspicious. Did he do anything illegal, or was the color of his skin enough for you to call 911? Susan's lips trembled. I was just trying to be careful, Regina cut her off. Well, you were careful, all right, careful enough to ruin your own career, because this, she gestured around the store, this is going viral. Malcolm had already pulled out his phone, recording everything. Within hours, the footage would be all over the internet. Susan's face was drained of all color. Please. I didn't mean any harm. Regina wasn't interested in excuses. Turning to the store manager, she said, I assume you don't support racial profiling in your business. The manager, horrified by what had just happened, shook his head furiously. Absolutely not, Susan. You're fired. Get your things and leave now. Susan gasped, looking at everyone in disbelief, but there was no sympathy to be found. Karma had struck instantly as she gathered her things and shuffled toward the exit. Malcolm finally spoke up, his voice calm but firm. All I wanted was to buy a bracelet, he said. Guess I got something more valuable instead. Justice, and with that, the boy she tried to humiliate walked out with his head held high while she walked out in disgrace. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring tales. Together we can spread valuable lessons that remind us of the importance of humility, respect, and human connection. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.